Are you living your life or the life that others expect of you? It is time, my friend, to tune in to what really matters to you. So, welcome to another episode of the Magic Mindfulness Podcast. I've got a powerful solo episode for you today. I can't wait to dive in. So, I am Rachel Hupp. If this is our first time connecting, welcome. If you're back again, welcome. Glad to have you here. Now, I am so passionate about helping women to trust themselves, to walk the path of their inner calling. And so, in today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into a topic that is very close to my heart, and that is how to reconnect with and how to trust your inner voice. We're going to be exploring why so many of us feel disconnected from our true selves. I'll share some practical strategies with you for recognizing your inner wisdom. Even when life gets crazy, busy, and chaotic, right? Even amidst the noise and chaos of daily life, how can you recognize your inner wisdom? And then we're going to talk about how to honor that inner wisdom, that intuition, even when it feels like it's a struggle, even when it feels challenging. And then, most importantly, we're going to talk about the transformative power of consistently trusting your inner voice. My intention, my friend, is that by the end of this episode, you are going to have some tools to add to your toolbox to help you to start tuning out external noise and start tuning in to your own inner guidance system. So, if you are ready to unlock the path to your most authentic and fulfilling life, raise your hand. Let's begin. So, let's talk about something that many of us experience, and it's that nagging feeling of being disconnected from our true selves, of losing ourselves or losing a part of ourselves on our life journey. It's this really peculiar kind of emptiness, right? It just kind of creeps in. So even when from the outside looking in, even when on the surface everything looks perfect, there's this inner sense that something is missing, something is off. You may have heard my story before, but a few years ago, actually more than that, it was probably mm, gosh, time flies fast. Probably about 13, 14 years ago, I was living what many would have considered the dream life. And for many people, it is the dream life. I had followed all the steps that I thought would lead me to happiness and success. These were all steps external to me, steps outside of myself. I went to college. I landed a good job. I bought a house. And I was steadily climbing the corporate ladder. I was checking off all the boxes, doing everything I thought was right. But you know what? Instead of feeling joyful, instead of feeling fulfilled, I found myself battling the effects of chronic stress. I was constantly overwhelmed. And I just found myself wondering, is this really all there is to life? There's got to be something more. And so, you may experience this feeling of disconnect differently than I do. You probably do because it's different for everybody. Maybe for you, it's a sense of restlessness that you just can't seem to shake. Maybe it's a sense that you are living somebody else's life, that you are following someone else's dream, you're following someone else's path. Maybe you find yourself going through the motions. You're doing everything that's expected of you, but along the way, you feel like you've lost touch with yourself. You've lost touch with your own desires, your own dreams. Maybe you don't even feel like you know who you are right now. Maybe you don't know what brings you joy. Maybe you don't know what makes you happy. That is okay. I've been there, and we can help get you back on track. So the tricky part is that it's not always obvious from the outside, right? Maybe you're successful in your career. Maybe you have a loving family. Maybe you seem to have it all together. But inside, there's still something missing. You might even feel guilty for that, right? Why am I not happy? I did everything right. I've got everything that I want. That was certainly a guilt that I experienced. Inside, there's this void. Something's missing. It's a yearning, a desire, a longing for something more authentic, something more aligned with who we truly are, something that lights us up, something that makes us feel satisfied and fulfilled from within. This disconnection that we feel, it's not just uncomfortable, right? It can have real consequences. I talked about the chronic stress, the overwhelm that I dealt with. We risk missing out on opportunities for growth. We miss out on opportunities for joy. So think about it. We make decisions perhaps based on what we think we should be doing, like I did. I built a life that I thought I was supposed to build, even though it wasn't the life that I wanted. And so we make decisions based on what we think we should do instead of what truly resonates with us. And if we continue down this path, we risk looking back on our lives with regret, wondering, what if we had listened to our inner wisdom? What if we had had the courage to go after and mindfully create the wildly aligned life of our dreams? So let me ask you something, my friend. If you were to picture yourself 15 years from now, 10 years from now, 5 years from now, you look back on the person you are right now, the life that you are living, and imagine that you can look at your life from the outside looking in first. How does it look? Is everything perfect? Is everything pretty good? You did all the right things. What about from the inside looking out? Are you satisfied? Are you happy? We don't want to have regrets, right? At the end of the day, when all is said and done, we want to live a life that feels good, a life that feels fulfilling, a life that feels satisfying and joyful, right? So here's the thing. We don't want to wonder what if. What if we had had the courage to listen to ourselves? What if we learned how to listen to ourselves so we could have the courage to follow our own inner guidance, right? So here's the thing, this disconnection, it's actually a really powerful signal, right? It's your inner wisdom, your intuition, your inner voice trying to get your attention. It's urging you to reconnect with your core self, your true self. It's an invitation to tune out the external noise and start listening to your own inner voice. You know, I saw a quote on Instagram this morning. It was by conscious, subconscious thinkers. And it said, give yourself permission to live a big life. Step into who you are meant to be. Stop playing small. You are meant for greater things. And, you know, that just hit me. And since I knew I was talking about this today, I saved it to share with you. But you might be asking yourself, so Rachel, how do I recognize this inner voice? There's so much noise around me, especially today in this modern age, right? There's so many distractions. We're constantly being bombarded by this external noise. How do we recognize that inner voice when there's so much going on outside of us? Well, I will say that it can be different for everybody, but what I found is that our inner voice is that more quiet, intuitive knowing that comes from deep within. It's your authentic self, the core of who you are, your inner compass, your intuition, guiding you towards what is truly right for you. The challenge is, right? Many of us have spent years, maybe our whole lives, ignoring this inner voice in favor of outside guidance, external guidance. We've been conditioned to seek validation from others, to follow societal norms, to follow the pathway that's been laid out for us, and to prioritize our logic over our intuition. Now, we do want the balance, of course. There's the balance between the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine, but we need some of both in there. So how can we reconnect with our inner voice? How can we reconnect with our intuition? Well, here are a few ways that I found helpful and that I have, my clients have found helpful as well. So one way is to start to pay attention to your body. Our inner wisdom oftentimes communicates with us through physical sensations. So maybe when you are making a decision, you feel this sense of expansion or lightness in your chest, or something that you feel like lit up, right? When something aligns with your true self, when something feels good. Or on the other side of things, maybe you feel a tightness in your stomach, a sense of dread when it doesn't, that gut reaction, right? Pay attention to your body's cues. And then notice what's going on in your mind as well, recurring thoughts. If there's a certain idea or desire that keeps popping up, even if it seems impractical, even if it seems scary, maybe that's your inner voice trying to get your attention. So, I don't know, one example, what if you keep having an idea that you'd like to take this art class and you think, no, that's not practical, no. But it really lights you up, and that idea keeps coming back over and over and over and over again. Notice it. Notice it. And then this one's a little more subtle, but learn to tell the difference between fear and intuition. The voice of fear tends to be loud, urgent, and it's oftentimes based on the worst case scenario, these worries that we have. On the other hand, your inner voice, it tends to be calmer, more grounded, more persistent. And even if it's challenging, it often feels right. Now, next up is to practice mindfulness. And mindfulness is at the heart of everything I teach. You might do this through meditation. You might do it through mindfulness practices. Maybe it's going for a walk. Maybe it's journaling. Whatever resonates with you. There's no right or wrong. But these mindfulness practices, especially when practiced consistently over time, they can help to quiet that external noise and make it easier to hear and tune into your own inner voice. And I mentioned journaling as a mindfulness practice, but it's powerful enough that I want to mention it as a standalone tool for your toolkit as well. Writing things down without censoring your thoughts, writing things down like a free flow or a brain dump, it can be a really, really powerful way to access your inner voice. And so when you get into the habit of doing this routinely, it can be really, really powerful to help you get to know yourself, right? Many of us have lost parts of ourselves along the way. We feel disconnected. We feel like maybe we don't even know who we are anymore. Journaling can help bring us back home to ourselves. So I want to invite you to take a moment with me right now to practice tuning in to your inner voice. So if you're not driving, if you are in a safe space, you might choose to close your eyes. You can certainly keep the eyes open or just find a soft and gentle gaze down the line of the nose if you prefer. But let's go ahead and empty the breath. And then just take a long, slow, deep breath in. And then let the breath all the way back out. Do that 2 more times. Take 2 more long, deep breaths. And as you breathe, just notice any sensations in your body. When you're done, you can return to just a natural rhythm of your body's breath. And now just gently ask yourself, what do I need right now? What do I need right now? Don't force an answer. Don't worry if nothing comes up. Just listen. What do I need right now? And just know that whatever comes up, whatever doesn't come up, it's perfect. It's fine. This is just the beginning of reconnecting with your inner wisdom. All right. If your eyes are closed, you can bring them open. Maybe give yourself a couple more deep breaths or some mindful stretching. So, we've explored a few different ways to recognize your inner voice, right? So, listening to your body, paying attention to those recurring thoughts, learning to tell the difference between fear and intuition, practicing mindfulness, practicing journaling. And so, now I want to talk to you about how you can honor your inner voice. Once you learn to listen to it, how can you learn to trust and honor it? So, this is where, my friend, we begin to turn insight into action. So, my first tip for your toolbox is to create space for stillness. Maybe that is in the form of a digital detox, maybe an evening or a morning or a certain time of day where you um, turn off all notifications, put your phone in another room, and just be present with yourself. Maybe it is going for a walk or meditating without electronics. Whatever it is, where in your daily rhythm can you create space for stillness? Even if it's just a few moments, create space for stillness. And then we've got to set boundaries, right? We've got to protect our space. Practice saying no to commitments that don't align with your values, that don't align with your energy levels. Trust your gut reaction. Tune into the power of the pause, right? Instead of saying yes immediately as soon as somebody asks you something, give yourself time to feel into it. You can say, let me check my calendar. I'll get back to you. You don't have to give a yes or no right away. You can tune into the power of the pause. You can say no to commitments that don't align with your values or your energy levels. Remember, my friend, every no to something that doesn't serve you is a yes to your authentic self, right? And then progress, not perfection, takes small, consistent, aligned actions. Start with small steps that align with what your inner voice is telling you. These small actions build trust in your inner guidance system. So let's say I don't know, let's say that you're considering a career shift and your intuition is telling you that you're not quite satisfied in the career you're in and you want to make a change. Well, rather than just putting in your 2 weeks notice and ditching the current job, what you could do if you want to take small aligned actions is you could sign up for a course, a class, or get a book about the topic that you're interested in moving towards, right? See if that feels fulfilling. See if it lights you up. See if it honors your core desires. Take small aligned actions in the direction of your dreams. And then again, we talked about progress, not perfection. I want you to embrace imperfection. There are no mistakes. Everything is an opportunity to learn. Everything is an opportunity for growth. So take consistent action, but detach from the outcome. Trust that every step is a part of your journey. And I'm going to encourage you along this path to practice self-compassion when you are facing a challenge. Be mindful to speak to yourself as you would a dear friend. This is difficult, but you're doing your best. It's okay to trust yourself. You can have your own statement like that on standby so that when challenging times come up, you can give yourself a little pep talk. This is difficult, but you are doing your best. It's okay to trust yourself. And then where can you integrate mind body practices like yoga, meditation, breath work, even Tai Chi, whatever lights you up? Where can you integrate these mind body practices into your daily rhythm, into your daily routine? Even again, a few moments of conscious breathing, like we did earlier, can really help you to reconnect with your inner voice, even when you have a crazy busy day, right? And then finally, surround yourself with a powerful support system. Seek out people who encourage you to be yourself, who love you for who you are, who encourage you to shine your light bright, my friend. And so, as you consistently honor your inner wisdom, you will likely notice some really powerful changes. This has been my own experience. This has been the experience of the clients that I work with as well. Now, before we get into these powerful shifts, I want to just quickly recap what we talked about, because we talked about how to tune into your inner voice, how to recognize it, but then how do you trust it? Create space for stillness, set healthy boundaries, take small, aligned actions, embrace imperfection, and practice self compassion. Integrate mind body practices into your rhythm, and then surround yourself with an amazing support system. All right. So, what are some of the shifts that I've noticed, that my clients have noticed? Well, increase self confidence. You'll find yourself less swayed by others' opinions and more grounded in your own truth. Authenticity. This is the highest value there is. You will feel less need to pretend or fit into others' expectations. You'll stop worrying so much about what other people think about you and just show up exactly as you are. Resilience. This is powerful. When you are grounded in your inner truth, you become more resilient in the face of life's ups and downs. You are able to bounce back more quickly. Fulfillment, satisfaction, that sense that something's missing begins to fade. It gets replaced by this deeper sense of purpose and fulfillment. Flow, go with the flow. Life often, when we are following our own path, life often begins to flow more smoothly. You might notice more coincidences, more serendipities or opportunities that align with your true path. They're guiding you. Your intuition is guiding you down this path. Remember, this transformation is not a destination. Enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, because this is an ongoing journey, my friend. There's no finish line. You're not going to suddenly have it all figured out. It is a continual process of listening, trusting, aligning, listening, trusting, realigning over and over and over again. Now, in my own life, as I've practiced honoring my inner wisdom, I have experienced a profound shift as well. Those external markers of success that once drove me, they're not important anymore. There is a quote by Rumi I like, and this goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Life, seems like it flows more easily. Rumi says, when you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. When you do things from your soul, you feel a river moving in you, a joy. And that is a perfect way to experience how I move through my day-to-day life now. It is so powerful. My friend, your inner wisdom is always there. It is waiting to guide you towards your most authentic and your most fulfilling life, towards the wildly aligned life of your dreams. The question is, are you ready to listen? So, as we wrap up our journey today, as we wrap up this exploration, let's take just a moment to reflect on what we have explored together. We started by acknowledging that feeling of disconnection that so many of us experience, that nagging sense that something's missing, that we lost touch with ourselves. Even when life looks perfect on the outside, something's missing inside. We recognize this disconnection as a powerful signal from our inner wisdom. It's calling upon us to realign, to tune in with the true heart of who we are, to build a life that feels good from the inside out. And then we talked about some really practical ways that you can recognize and tune into your inner voice, from paying attention to your body's signals to learning to tell the difference between fear and intuition. We explored the importance of creating space for stillness, for setting boundaries, and taking small, aligned actions to honor our inner wisdom. Most importantly, we talked about the transformative power of consistently trusting your inner voice. This is not just about making better decisions, right? It's about fundamentally shifting how you show up in your world. It's about increased self confidence, authenticity, resilience, and a deep sense of inner joy, a deep sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. So remember, my friend, this journey of connecting with, of honoring your inner wisdom, it is ongoing. It's not always easy, but it is worth it. Every time you choose to listen to your inner voice, you are taking a step towards a more authentic, aligned, and fulfilling life. You have so much wisdom within you, and it is just waiting to guide you toward your truest, most vibrant self. Your inner voice, you can think of it as your compass, your anchor, your North Star, whatever resonates with you. It has been with you all along, and now is the time to let it shine. If you are ready to dive deeper into this journey of self trust and alignment, I've got an exciting opportunity coming up for you. Now, in January, I'm going to be launching the next round of my Wildly Aligned Women program. We're actually wrapping up the first round of it today. Super, super excited for this grand finale. But the next round starts in January. And this is just it's a transformative experience. It is designed to help you to fully embrace your inner wisdom, to mindfully design a life that feels wildly aligned from the inside out, a life that truly resonates with your true self. So you can sign up for the waitlist today so that you will be the first in line when registration does open. And you will also get exclusive early bird bonuses. So that's part of the fun. And so this is just a fun chance to take the insights that we've talked about today and turn them into lasting and powerful change in your life. So if you are interested in joining the waitlist, if it feels good, if it feels aligned, if it lights you up, if you want to learn more about the Wildly Aligned Women program, just visit my website, rachelhupp.com/waitlist, or you can click the link down in the show notes. Now, in Wildly Aligned Women, we'll tap into my unique Align framework: awareness, liberation, integration, growth, and nourishment. And through this framework, along with diving deeper into yogic philosophy, I'm going to guide participants to reconnect with their inner wisdom, to live more authentically, and to mindfully design the wildly aligned life of your dreams. Now, I would love to hear about your journey towards reconnecting with your inner voice. So feel free to share your experiences or your questions with me in the comments below, or over on Instagram at I am Rachel Hupp. Who knows, your insights might even inspire a future episode, right? So remember, if I could leave you with one key takeaway today, it's this: you have everything you need within you. Your inner wisdom is your superpower. Trust it, honor it, and watch as it guides you to a life beyond your wildest dreams. You've got this, my friend, and I'm here to support you every step of the way.